Hi all. So Today has an yesterday some of the people not joined, so not class is not taken. So day before yesterday has seen the procedures how to create the procedure. So procedure means it is a named block. So we'll see some other examples in the procedures how to create each procedure. So create or replace procedure P8 is cursor. C1 is select star from EMP. So whatever we are already worked on the anonymous block is there. Same we are using the procedure in the procedures also. So only the difference is you remove the declare section. So before that you will add the create or replace procedure name. Okay. So in this instead of the declare between the is and begin we'll use the declaring cursors, variables, everything will declare here. But you should not use the declare keyword here. So here cursor 7 is select star from EMP LV underscore count number begin for I in C1. So in the for loop, what it will do? So automatically it will open the cursor and fetch the data, close the cursor. So DBMS output, we are printing the employee name, salary. If you want, you can add extra columns also. So for this LV underscore count, I am using the cursor percentage row count. So this is the cursor attribute and loop. So procedure compiled successfully. So procedure P8. Now, how can we call? Execute P8. So now this is the output we are seeing here. Yeah. Suppose we are creating the in the real time what we'll do. So we'll create a objects in the whatever the objects we'll create that will be stored in this all underscore objects. So select star from all underscore objects where object name like fnd percentage user percentage. So in this all the tables will be there, base tables will be there. So starting with the fnd, so all the tables names will be listed like this. So in this, some of the tables are important: F&D user, F&D responsibility TL, F&D concurrent programs. Okay. So some of the important tables will be there. You will get the information from them. So what are the concurrent programs? What are the um, tables we are using in this? And what are the users available? So this is the F&D user means you can see the all the users in this Oracle apps. Okay. So here the names, all the names will be there. Sysadmin, HRMS, finance. Who are used. So whenever you joined a new company, so your name will be created in this, account will be created in this, so you can check that your name also here. Okay. So same way some of the other tables are there. Select F&D responsibility TL. In this, we have the applications list. Responsibility name, application development, system administrator, implementation manufacturer, general ledger, like this. Some of the what are the modules in this in the Oracle while installation. So you select some of the modules that all the modules will be whatever the installed modules will be there, that application details will be available in this responsibility TL here. So whenever you are logging with the front end, so Ramusar class will start, so that time these tables will be used. Okay. So based on these tables, so we want to develop a procedure. So users who are having the responsibility assigned that application diagnostics. So for that, we are going to use the below. That means create a replace procedure P1 is cursor user underscore cursor. I am mentioning cursor name is select fu dot username fu dot user underscore name comma FRT dot responsibility name from FND user FU FND user responsibility groups indirect FURG FND responsibility underscore TL FRT. So these are the table alias names here, where fu dot user ID is equals to FURG dot user ID and FURG responsibility ID is equals to FRT dot responsibility ID. So these are the common columns between the tables here. So this is the user ID and here also user ID. That means FND user responsibility group indirect. We have the user ID is the common column, and here coming to FURG and FRT, we have the responsibility ID common here, common column. So under responsibility name, I'm mentioning application diagnostics. Begin. That means with this cursor, we are finding the who is having the application diagnostics for the each user. Begin for FU user, FU underscore user in user underscore cursor. So this is the for loop variable here. So previously how we are taking for IN, like that we are considering here. So this variable we can define any name. Every time you need not to take the I only, or you can use any meaningful name here. For FU underscore user in user underscore cursor, that is the cursor name here. Loop dbms output dot put underscore line FU user name concatenate user responsibility name. That means who are having this responsibility name, that list will be printed. So this package compiled successfully, execute P1. Then if you see, that is the username and application name here. All the users who are assigned this application diagnostics, that user list, it is there. So here if you see in the procedure what we are using, this is the cursor query. In this cursor query using the table joins. Okay, so already we have the completed joins, how to join the tables. So based on joins we are using this cursor query. So with this cursor query I am getting the output here. And the cursor query we are fetching the data and printing the information. So same way we are using the for loop, how to use in another way in the procedures. So create or replace procedure P1 is begin for FU underscore user in. Instead of taking the cursor, so straight away using the cursor query here. If you see, select a FU underscore FU dot username, comma FRT dot responsibility name. Okay, actually in a proper way like that. This is for this cursor query. Whatever the cursor query we have taken in the previous example, same we are taking directly into this for loop. So that means you can use the either store the query into the cursor value and or directly you can use this cursor query into for loop. So while writing in the real-time examples or real-time queries, you have to follow like this proper way. So otherwise, there will be some clunky and you cannot understand what you are writing. So here I am writing this begin for for fu underscore user in this query. Okay. So again, after this query, we are using the loop. Begin. Sorry, in the loop, we are printing the output here. Okay, the hyphen. Then procedure compiled, execute P1, and we are getting this information. Okay. So in the for loop, you can directly take the cursor query and you can execute it directly. So next we have the parameterized parameters, how to pass the parameters to the procedure. So parameters are used to pass the values into procedure and also return values from the procedure. In this case, we must use the two types of parameter. One is actual parameter and another is formal parameters. So formal parameters means so these are defined at the procedure specification. This will be defined at a procedure. Okay. Procedure specification. And the actual parameters will be defined in the variable section. So in the formal parameters, you have the modes, that is in mode and out mode, and another is in out mode. So what is in mode means? So by default, procedure parameters having the in mode only. So in mode is used to pass the values into the procedure body. So whatever the values we are passing to that procedure, it will you can use in the procedure body. So out mode means this mode is used to return the values from the procedure body. It is used to get the values from the procedure, means only output procedure will get for the output variables. Another is in-out mode. This mode is used to pass the values into the subprograms and return the values from the subprograms. So same variable can be used for in this in-out method, so that one way you can pass the input parameter and other way from the same variable you will get the out value also. So in this here, suppose if a parameter is not explicitly defined as a parameter type, then by default it is an in parameter only. So we'll have some example here. So here, create or replace procedure P1 and P department number in number. So this is the formal parameter we are defining here. So for the in the procedure specification. So here we are defining the parameter with the data type also, but there is no need to mention the size here. Creator replace procedure P1 P underscore department number in number is cursor C1 is select employee number, employee name, salary from EMP1, where department number is equals to P underscore department number. So whatever the department number we are passing at this, that will be based on that query. So that will be stored into this cursor. So variables I am taking LV underscore rename, LV underscore salary, LV underscore employee number. DVMS output, department number, concatenate P underscore department number, concatenate details. For I in C1, loop, begin, select employee number salary into LV underscore employee number, comma LV underscore salary from EMP1, where employee name is equals to I dot employee name. So here we are passing the department number. So the cursor will store the information. So here in the for loop, we are fetching the data and we are using this cursor data, select employee number, salary into this LV underscore employee number, LV underscore salary, where I dot employee name is equals to I dot ename. DBMS output LV underscore employee number, LV underscore salary. Exception, when no data found, then ename should not be null. When too many rows, more than one row, when others, then error message is SQL error. This is the exception section we are using. Okay. Again in this, one more block we are using. Begin, select employee number, employee name into LV underscore employee number, comma LV underscore ename from EMP, where salary is equals to I dot salary. Okay. So here if you see here, within this for loop only, we are using this another section, that is begin and end here. So based on the salary, I am getting this employee number, employee name, and printing this employee number, employee name. So when no data found, then DBMS output salary should not be null. End here. Okay. This is the procedure we are going to create. So procedure P1 compiled successfully. Then how can you call this procedure? Execute P1. This is the procedure name. Correct? So this is the procedure name we are using as a execute P1. So when you call it, what will happen? It will throw the error. Why? Because we are using the parameter here. So we need to pass the parameters for this procedure. So that P department number 10 I am passing here. Okay. So wrong number or type of arguments to call the P1. That means in the procedure we are using the parameter here. So that we have to pass the value for this parameter. That is P underscore department number. For this we have to pass the value. So that execute P1 of 10. Then it is department number 10 details. It is having the employee number, salary, employee number, name. Okay. So again, employee number, salary, employee number, name. Again, employee number, salary, employee number, name. So here first it will print in this loop, this one for this. It is going to print the employee number and salary. So after that, it is going to here it will print the employee number, employee name. Like that, it is going to repeat in the loop. Suppose if I pass the department number 20, then department number 20 details it is fetching. So here if you see, first record is printed here, employee number, salary. After that, employee number, name it is printed. After that, employee number, here the salary it is printed. But coming to this here, the salary based two records I am finding. So because this table contains the same salary 3000 for the two employees, so that it is here I am getting the more than rows here in this. Select employee number, ename. In this query, I am getting the more than the single record. So, but this records LV underscore employee number, LV underscore ename holds only at a time one record only, so that it is throwing the error. Which error it is throwing? No data found. No, that is getting the exact fetch returns more than the requested number of rows. So because here it is not mentioned in the exception, so that it is giving in the script output error. Suppose if you mentioned the same here, too many rows, exception here also. Okay. So if you mention this also in this, so what will happen when this exception occurred, fired, then automatically it will display here. Once you changed anything in the procedure, you have to recompile it. Now again, I'm executing this. Now you can see this. So here it is giving you, first it is executed and it is printed the name. And for this record, more than one row it is there. So that is giving the exception here. And after that again, it is fetching the another record. And for this also, 7788 3000, 7902 also 3000 is there. For the two records, it is giving you more than one row it is there. Instead of the giving the name, it is giving this error. Next, it is compiling for the other users. 7369 800, 7369 Smith, 7876 1100, 706 Adams. So like this, it will fetching the records from the table. Previously, without giving this exception, you got the error in this script output error. So once you added this exception into program, so then we are getting the output without stopping the program. Okay. So using the procedures, you can insert the data from one table to another table. Okay. So I'll drop this table first. So I'll create a table with create table XX pivot details. With segment 1 type lookup code, pivot ID, vendor ID, creation date, created by last updated date, last updated by last update login, and process flag error message with this data type. So now the table got created. So using the procedure, so normally how we will insert into this table? So we'll insert using the insert statement. Insert into this table name values we have to provide. Okay. So what we are inserting, insert into this table name segment 1 tab lookup code creation date created by last updated date, last updated by last update login process flag. For the segment 1, we are inserting 10,000 and tab lookup code standard and creation date, this date we are using and created by. If you see this, for the created by means we have to provide a user ID here. So for that we are using the fnd global dot user ID and sysdate and same for the last updated date here fnd global dot user ID and here last updated login also we are giving the fnd global dot user ID and for this process flag and we are providing here. So we are not taking the error message here. So one row got inserted. Now we'll use commit. Okay. Same way I'll insert another record. I'll use this one. Record is inserted. And one more record I'm inserting. Okay. Now three records got inserted into this table. We'll verify this. So here three records are inserted here. So erasing commit also done here. Now we'll create a procedure. So here we are going to create a procedure P1 with the same name here. Create or replace procedure P1 is, so here the declare is not required. Okay. So we are defining the local variables LV underscore keyword ID, type lookup code, error number, error message, total count, error count, success count we are defining here. And for this count we are assigning 0 initially here. And in the cursor, C1 is select row ID as a row ID, comma, xpd dot star from xxpo details xpd. This is the table alias name we are giving, where xpd dot process flag is equals to n. Okay. So here what we are taking into the cursor, so row ID and all the columns from this table. And here staging we can consider as a name as a staging table or custom table. This is the custom table or staging table you can consider. So begin for I in C1 loop LV underscore total count assignment operator LV underscore total count plus 1 LV underscore pivot ready assignment operator null LV underscore error number 0 error message null and type lookup code null. So we are assigning these values into this variable in this for loop. After that begin select pivot ID into LV underscore pivot ID from pivot to solve where segment 1 is equals to I dot segment 1. Exception when no data found, then error number, error message we are storing into these two variables. And DBMS output error message we are printing. When others, then also we are storing the error number, error message into these two variables. Unknown error, SQL error. DBMS output we are printing error message. Okay. So if LV underscore error number is equals to 1, then LV underscore error count assignment operator, LV underscore error count plus 1. Update PO table process flag is equals to E. That means process flag N to E we are changing, that is error. We are changing the N means new, so E means error. So here error message is LV underscore error message, where row ID is equals to I dot row ID. Else LV underscore process success count assignment operator, LV underscore success count plus 1. Update XXPO details table, that process flag is equals to S. Process PO header ID is equals to LV underscore PO header ID, where row ID is equals to I dot row ID and loop. So commit. So after that we are using the total records are processed LV total count. Success records are processed LV success count. Error records are processed LV error count. And so that means we are comparing the values here. So we are taking one staging table data and we are comparing with this pivot ID table here. And whether the data is exist, then we are processing this and updating the status of the process flag here. So procedure P1 compiled, then we have to give execute P1. So is there any parameters we are using here? So there is no parameters now using for this procedure. Simply we are using this execute P1. Then here P1 number should not be null. Total records are processed 3. Success records are 2. Error records are processed 1. That means while inserting into this table, so we have done here. 3 records got inserted here. Correct? So in this for the records this P1 number, this is the P1 number and type lookup code. These values we are inserting. What are the values are there in the table with the pivot ready table? Then it is giving you the error here. What are the pivot ready is not there in the pivot dash table. For that record, it is updating as the error, and this is the P1 number should not be null. Okay. So success message, there is no error here. Only success is updated in the process flag. So here this for this record, there is no PO header ID here. That is the reason it is updating with the PO number should not be null. Okay. So like this, you can use the procedure to compare and update the stage. Normally, in the real time, what you will do? So to update into base tables. So what are the base tables? In the each module level, we have given the some of the base tables. Whenever you are trying to insert the data into base table, first you have to insert the data into staging table. From that staging table, you have to write the validations. So when all the validations meets, then only you can insert the data into base table. And also you have to find out whether any validation is there, how many are passed, how many are failed. That status report you have to prepare like this. So we have the one more example for the parameter. Create or replace procedure, create department number as a in number is LV underscore count number begin. Select count star into LV underscore count from EMP, where department number is equals to P underscore department number. DBMS output number of employees from department number. That is P department number concatenate is LV underscore count. So I just compile the procedure. So execute the procedure. Need to use the execute P8. So we need to pass the department number. Department number 10 I am passing. Then I'm getting the number of employees from department number 10 is. Suppose if you are giving 20. Then number of employees from department number 20 is 5. 30. 6. Suppose I am giving 40. Then number of employees from department number 40 is 0. I am giving 70. Then it is giving the number of employees from the department number 70 is 0. But actually this department number does not exist. But when you pass this department number here, so you will get the null values here. You won't get the whether the department number exists or not. There is no validation here, so that this query returns only null value, so that it is giving a 0 here. If you want to add whether the number exists or not, you can add one more validation here, so that department number can be checked in this table, exist or not, that condition. And again, you can print the department number exist or not exist. So that I am leaving to you. So how to change that procedure, you can think of this in this. Same way, I'll use one more example. So create or replace procedure P9, P underscore job. So here I'm mentioning.
మళ్ళా పైకి అట్లా పైకి వచ్చావా? సిగరెట్ తీసుకున్నారు వాళ్ళు. ఇలా రా. కిందికి.
సాయి రెడ్డి మ్యూట్లో పెట్టి మాట్లాడుకోండి. క్లాస్ జరుగుతుంటే డిస్టర్బెన్స్ చేయదు వేరే వాళ్ళని.